The divine feminine archangels are not new. They've always been here, but we have not been able to connect with them. The angels are androgynous, will polarize things for our experience and our comfort and our understanding, because that is how we experience life on earth. It's been prophesied that we are moving into a new age, which will become a golden age. We need as much light as possible. And the angels, they are the ones who can guide us. They won't do it for us. We have to do our own work. It's mainly about self-empowerment. That's what it's all about, self-empowerment through healing and rediscovering who you are and your potential. Everybody has been stripped of the feminine magic, not just women. By reclaiming these teachings and living them ourselves, it's like we're giving other people permission to be emotional or explore their creativity or their openness. The more we light up, we're literally lighting up the world.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Mind, Body and Soul Conversations podcast. Today's guest is the incredible Claire Stone, bestselling author of the Female Archangels and Tarot Cheat Formula, and her new oracle deck, the Divine Feminine Archangel Oracle. She is also the founder of the Angel Mystery School and winner of the Most Inspiring Author Award in 2024. Hi Claire, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me on here. Can't wait to have a conversation with you.
Oh, me too. As a believer of angels, I'm so excited for this conversation. And I would like to start with your book, The Female Archangels, and your oracle deck, which I find absolutely stunning, by the way, and I highly recommend. So what inspired you to write about the divine feminine and the female archangels? And can you explain what is the divine feminine to everyone at home?
Okay, so when I have always seen spirit animals, spirits, and angels from being a kid. But I was always very curious and wanting to know, like asking them all questions. And I was raised a Christian, but I always felt like something was missing. Like, this can't be the whole package. There's got to be more than this. And it was one night that I opened up my prayer, because if you think about it, I'm a Christian. I'm raised to pray to Jesus or to God. But one night I was only 14. I was a little bit annoyed with the God that I'd been raised to know, because life wasn't going well. So I'm thinking, God doesn't really isn't really doing the best because I didn't understand spiritual law at the time. So this one night I opened up my prayer and said, is there anybody out there who can help me? And an angel who was called Ariel, I don't know if you've come across Archangel Ariel yet. She answered my prayer. Now, at the time, I had agoraphobia, but this is going back to the 90s, and people don't know about mental health like they do now, especially if you're a kid. Like, I'd never heard of anxiety, or I didn't know what they were. I just knew that I go outside, my legs feel like jelly, my palms are sweating, and I'm going to throw up. I didn't have any parents or teachers or anyone who realised that I had agoraphobia, because my parents were alcoholics and I was a young carer. So I wasn't attending school. I was raising my younger children, sisters. And, life was really hard. So this is why I'm having these really deep questions. What's the point in life? God, are you real? If you are real, why am I so unlucky? Why is life so hard if you love us? So I had these very deep questions from a young age. And this night when Ariel came, she asked me to do something bizarre. She said, tomorrow, I want you to go to the bus stop. Now, I had no idea what walking to the bus stop was going to do for me. And the thought of it was petrifying. However, I did it. And then the next night when she visited, she said, right, I want you to get on the bus for one stop and come back. Eventually, I'd got into the town centre, get in a taxi, come back. What I didn't realise at the time, because I was a kid, was I was being desensitized from this anxiety. And that's how, if we had cognitive behaviour therapy today, They're the type of tasks that you would be given from a therapist. But I was a 14-year-old girl being told and shown how to heal from this divine. But I've got goosebumps now. I
Just
get goosebumps to this day talking about this. So then the next step, I'm thinking, right, Ariel has presented herself to me as female, but I've only heard about in the Protestant church, they don't talk much about Mary or angels for that
yeah.
matter. So I'm thinking, well, how come I've been taught that there's Jesus and God is a man, but the person that saved me as manifest as female? So then I got interested in this divine feminine. So I studied all kinds, shamanism, Buddhism. I was obsessed with spiritual enlightenment, trying to become enlightened. Um, and I just started to connect more and more with these angels. And I don't even want to call them new angels because the divine feminine archangels are not new. They've always been here, but we have not been able to connect with them because we've been conditioned to, we'll call in Archangel Michael, he who is like God. Gabriel, the strength of God. They're all masculine names and they're all of God. So the divine feminine angels, the term for divine feminine angels, by the way, is Archeia, the Archeia. But a lot of people can't spell it, including me sometimes. So it's okay to call them Archangel or even Lady because, some people call Archangel Michael Lord Michael. So you can say Lady Faith, Archangel Faith, or Archeia Faith when you're addressing divine feminine angel. And the thing is, which always blows my own mind, is that angels are androgynous. So this is when I always think, Claire, how the hell did you write a book, The Female Archangels and the Divine Feminine Archangels, when angels are actually androgynous? So what angels will polarize things for our experience and our comfort and our understanding because that is how we experience life on earth through polarity, don't we? Sun and moon, night and day, yin and yang, male and female. I see the angels as imagine a battery. One end it has a negative charge and one has a positive, but it's just one battery. And it's the same with the archangels, but it's a lot deeper than that. It's actually spiritual science. And what it gets to is the hemispheres of the brain. So my background is Aikido. That's a harmonious martial art. And I trained with my teacher for 23 years until he passed away. And everything he taught me in Aikido was to balance the hemispheres of the brain. The moves seem so paradoxical and unnatural at first that you feel like you want to step forward, but you're meant to step back. And that's because we are trained, we are raised to use the masculine hemisphere of the brain in society, in school, to get ahead, to get things done, to be productive. There's not been as much time made for the creativity and intuition and all of the feminine aspects. If we go back to spiritual enlightenment now, how can people achieve spiritual enlightenment if they're only using one side of the brain? Because mystics, martial arts teachers, yogis, they will tell you that through these like Kundalini awakening exercising, raising the energy through Ida and Pingala, through the chakras, it lights up both sides of the brain. And when both hemispheres are in balance, then you can access what's called the superconscious mind. So that was the whole point of Aikido, doing these paradoxical moves that feel so alien and wrong in the beginning because it unlocks higher states of awareness, a higher part of your mind. And the divine feminine archangels, they are the wisdom keepers of those mystery teachings. And if we can incorporate those mystery teachings into our lives, then we can become empowered and reach our spiritual potential.
Yeah, and become more whole. That's because we have to use both sides and have access to both our feminine and masculine energies, men and women, obviously. And I actually find this fascinating, and you explain it so well in your book. And can you explain, for example, the concept of twin rays? I loved it, and if you could give us some examples of archangels that are twin rays.
Yeah, so I have created a system, and that's just the humanness in me that's created this system. Again, you could say that this system is my masculine brain creating it, but I can understand
Logic.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need the logic of it all. But I link each pair of archangels. So for every archangel you can think of, there's an Archeia, there's a masculine and a feminine for every angelic ray. Now, I connect the angelic rays to the chakra system.
Mhm.
And it's not that it is the same, but the way I see it is the angels are the keepers of their specific thing, the thing that they're good at. So it could be, so Raphael and Mary, let's use them as an example. So Raphael, he whom God heals, that's what Raphael means. And he is the keeper of the emerald golden ray of healing energy. And anyone can call upon that healing energy to heal the physical body. But what we have only just come to remember or realize that Archangel Mary, who is not the same as Mother Mary, the angel Mary, she is the angel of emotional healing. Now, if we look at that deeper, every physical illness, every symptom that you have, it comes from an emotion. So if we can't get to that emotion that allowed the imbalance to
Mhm.
manifest, then can we ever truly heal it? So this is where the divine feminine teachings, in my opinion, they're not more important, but they're more empowering. And I think it really fits when we're moving from the age of Pisces, which was the age of the guru, into the age of Aquarius, which is the self-sufficient, awakening, embodied human. So they are both keepers of the same stream of energy. It's the same energy, but they do different things. So if I had terrible pain in my arm, I'd be, oh, Raphael, please give me some healing energy. If something triggered me and upset me, oh,
Mhm.
Mary, can you help me to understand why that has annoyed me so much? What part of my inner child needs healing or looking at or listening to so that I can address this issue that has upset my emotions? And then that can prevent, in many cases, the physical thing
But
coming along.
exactly. Yeah, and it makes sense because I do tapping EFT, and that's one of the things that I mean, I just love it, and I do videos about that on my YouTube channel, and I work with people with that, and I've also talked to practitioners about emotion code. Emotion and body code, yeah, which was it all about trapped emotions and releasing trapped emotions, which obviously then would lead to ailments, releasing those emotions that caused those trapped emotions. I've seen that so many times, and that makes perfect sense to me. So having both sides, like you said, like the balance on the physical and the emotional, and I love that. And you, on your book, you also explain how angels, well, we have free will, and that angels can't really intervene without without our permission, asking for their help. Um, what would be a simple prayer that we can do, like in our daily life, to call in their help, that you would recommend for people to do at home?
So you could literally say, you could be walking down the street on your own and you feel like there's a man and you're a little bit frightened. It's just an example.
Yeah,
You could literally say, Archangel Michael, help me.
just that.
And just that, and that is enough to protect you. You
Mm.
could call upon Holy Amethyst. Now, this sounds bizarre, but it's really true. She can make you invisible. So if you like, there's an example in the book actually when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
made myself invisible and then I forgot to remove it, and a couple of cars pulled out on me, nearly crashed into me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I thought, I haven't took that off. But there's all different angels that you can call in. There are invocations. There's probably invocations in that book. I can't remember if there is. I'm frequently writing ones, but I channel most of them, to be honest. And there are famous prayers like Lord Michael before, Lord Michael behind, Lord Michael to the right, Lord Michael to the left, Lord Michael above, Lord Michael below, Lord Michael, wherever I go. That, just to say that is so empowering, and you can feel that strong masculine presence, like that father figure strength with you. I think that if you invoke angels every night before you go to sleep, in the morning, it kind of builds up the words so that they just feel so much more powerful to you. Like I remember the first time I said the Lord Michael invocation. I didn't write that, by the way. I found it on the internet. I don't know who wrote it. I should find out actually. You've given me something now. And it literally physically did something to me. It was as if it kind of like sank into me the first time I ever said it. It was a moment to remember. But you can literally make up your own prayers, your own invocations, and like I said, all you need to do is ask. Sometimes your soul can send out what's called an SOS. So that they're the incidences when someone doesn't think that they've asked an angel to help them, maybe a car accident or some other situation, and like they've had this rescue. Actually, they have asked, and it will be the soul that has give permission because it's not that person's time to pass over,
Yeah.
or sometimes like a near-death experience can really awaken someone spiritually as well, and it
Mhm.
can be a really good thing, can't it? Like we've heard
Yeah.
these stories.
So many, yeah. Anita Morjani, for example, that's one of the books I've read of her near-death experience, and it was fascinating as well. And all the messages that she received from the other side. It's actually a wonderful book too. But that's one of the things that you said, and you described in your book, like how they appear to you, the archangels, how they appear to you. And while I was reading it, it felt so beautiful. And then obviously with your deck, I mean, the images are stunning. They are absolutely beautiful. It crossed my mind how wonderful it would be to have a children's book with these images. And it just, I don't know why, but it felt like how beautiful it would be to have children having like learning about angels in this really kind of like it's just like the images evoke so much. I would say, I don't know, fantasy as well, but it kind of like activates their imagination as well. And it would be beautiful for them to learn how to ask for their help, like the angels' help and the archangels' help, so that, like you said, they can feel more empowered throughout their lives, and even for adults as well. That would be amazing. So when I was reading your book and the images of your deck, that's something that I thought about, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just say that. So
Ah,
yeah. So
that's a nice idea.
yeah, so I mean, it's always amazing, and actually, I would like to ask. It's good for a child to start praying if they like, simple things, but really young, right? It would be.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm going back to my sisters who are in the 30s now, but when I was looking after them when they were little, I used to get them to sleep by just making up guided meditations and took them
Oh,
into bed, sit at the end of the bed, and I would take them on journeys, meeting angels and unicorns
oh,
and
that's so
all
nice.
kinds.
Yeah,
Because your brain is developing, and it's like a sponge up until like I think it's around age 7. So it is really good. Like the foundations are being laid out in those early years. So if you can teach your children to have faith and belief and self-empowerment,
yeah,
then it's setting you up for life. A lot of us adults now, we're doing all this inner child stuff, and we're learning how to rewire our brain because we didn't have that support, and we were raised in total different times, weren't we? But it would be so nice if our children didn't have all of that work to
yeah,
do, because we're like those who are kind of ending the loop from the
Cycle. Yeah.
family ancestral stuff as
Yeah.
much as we can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you do see the difference. Like, how would you, why do you think it's so important? We're talking about it as well, but for us personally and collectively to work and connect more with angels and the archangels.
Because the world is going through a transition, and this is depending on how you look at it, the world right now could be a very frightening place for a lot of people. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's kind of like, what the hell? I can't afford my shopping, or there's war. Like everyone's facing their own battles. And I think that on Earth now is very, very dark times. It's like there's a cloud of dark energy that doesn't have to impact us on a personal level. If we can not let that distract us, because in many ways, this is kind of like the darkest hour before the dawn.
Mhm.
It's been prophesied that we are moving into a new age, which will become a golden age. But all of the illusions, they have to be unveiled, they have to be realized. And it's really painful for a lot of people. Structures are collapsing that we have been part of for thousands of years. So navigating through these difficult times where things weren't what they seemed, we need as much light as possible. And the angels, they are the ones who can guide us. They won't do it for us. We have to do our own work. But if we say, right, I'll give you an example actually. So last year, I got this awful chest infection, and it was a manifestation because my father said something really that hurt me really, really bad. Okay. So the chest, the lungs, it's
Heart.
connected to the heart.
Yeah.
Um, so I got this chest infection and I could not shift it. And I was feeling very sorry for myself. I was driving home from school one morning and I just said, "Oh, angels, have mercy on me. Just tell me, what do I need? What do I need to take?" Because I was doing everything, Qigong. I'd done all like the inner child stuff with my dad. I wrote the letter, burnt the letter, sent love. I'm already taking loads of supplements, non-toxic pans. Like I could not comprehend, why have I still got this chest infection? And I got home, I looked on Instagram, and you might have heard of it. There's a brand, a supplement brand called Vimagy. The medical medium, he's always talking about that brand. He uses everything. It's really clean, potent supplements. I got home and realised that I'd won a competition by sharing a Facebook post. Three bottles of CoQ10 with D3 and K2 all in the same bottle. Three bottles of that and a £250 gift card.
Oh my God.
So I knew without doubt it was the CoQ10 with the D3 and the K2. That's what I
Yeah.
needed to get better. So not only has my prayer been answered, but they've actually give it me on like, there you go, we've paid for it for you.
That's
And as you
funny.
can see, I've got no cough now.
Yeah.
But that is an example. I think the more open you can be to miracles, that will let them in. That will definitely let them in. You just have to ask and really be open, and then take the take the answer. Because I had another one where I was told to eat apples once, and sometimes I go on the medical mediums page and I just scroll like that, not looking at, right, what do I need? Click, like bibliomancy, but on the phone. I'll have to make up a name for that. And it was apples. And then I got home and someone had threw an apple core right outside. And I live
Oh
on a
my goodness.
farm. There's no paths or nothing. So there's not many people walking past. So again, are you going to eat the apples, Claire, or just think it's a sign?
Yeah.
So of
Yeah.
course, I eat the apples every day now. They're not my favorite food, but I've been told I need to eat apples every day. That will do me some real good. So
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah, that's amazing. And even I think that most people, like some people that are in their spiritual journey, um, I, and I'm talking from my own experience as well. Like we kind of might be a bit afraid to be open to other things, like spiritually and all. And for me, it always felt safe to pray to angels um, and to my guardian angel, um, because it feels like, okay, that's only high vibration, like energy, and that's the only thing that I want to attract. Um, what do you think? Like, because they talk about a lot about guides, and I'm not opposed to any of that. I just feel like I feel more safe because I'm not really sure. What to do or how to interpret some kind of messages or signs or something like that. So I feel like I'm safer to only pray to my angels and guardian angels. Um, how has that been your experience as well? What would you recommend as well?
I'm smiling because I have literally just wrote a deck and a book. They're not going to be out till next year, but they're on that exact thing that you've just said.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I have come across this so much because I am also interested in manifesting the law of attraction, tarot. I have a very broad spiritual interest. And of course, I was raised being told spirit guides are evil, they're the devil's work. So when I used to predict things and tell my grandparents, or such a body down the road think she's passed away. Well, how do you know? I seen her last night. Oh, that's evil. Why would you say it? The lady had passed away. So my grandparents were really scared of that. And then that made me scared of my own guides.
Okay.
So we all have a team of spiritual guides. It's not just a guardian angel. There's animal guides. You have a gatekeeper guide, which is someone who's had a human experience. They're like the manager. They've got to be more spiritually awake than us, or they're no good to us, are they? They've got to be really um, high vibe. So there's loads of different guides. Some people are connecting with beings from other star systems. We have
Mhm.
ancestral guides. They're our relatives who we might not have knew, but they're in our bloodline, or they are part of a tradition that we are part of. So maybe like Reiki or Aikido, we have
Mhm.
that ancestral connection. Then we have our loved ones. So there's loads of guides that we have with us, but the highest vibrational being out of all of them is the angelic realm. So I always say to people, if I'm doing a spirit guide workshop or an angel workshop, if you want to get connected with a guide, I always recommend that you first get to know your guardian angel or an archangel, because some people, we've been so conditioned by Hollywood movies and to be afraid of all of this stuff that someone might not even want to call in the guardian angel, but they might think, well, Archangel Michael, he's a familiar
Yeah.
name. I feel okay calling him. So once that you feel like you are protected by one being, then you can say, right, Michael, our guardian angel, I'd love to know my spirit guides. Can you protect me while I try and make that connection? And they will do that for you. So that's what I always recommend. Because, like you said, no one is afraid of angels. And I've
No.
literally wrote that
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
in the book I'm writing now.
I'm going to be very interested in reading it for sure. Um, that's actually very interesting. And I wanted to ask, like, curiosity. What for you, from your experience, who are our guardian angels? Like,
Our guardian angels are, so again, this could be just masculine brain thinking, but
yeah.
there are tiers of angels, or imagine like a tree, all the different branches of a tree. So, like, there's different types of angels. So, there's the seraphim, they are like the fiery angels. There's all different kinds of angels, archangels, guardian angels. Your guardian angel made a pact with you before you incarnated on earth. So you made this soul contract. Now you also made one with your gatekeeper spirit guide. They're the only two guides that I know of that you have an actual contract with. And then other guides that we get along the way, your gatekeeper will decide, oh, yeah, that's a good helper guide that you can work with. Just imagine that you are studying to be a surgeon. There could be a helper guide who had a past life as a surgeon. If you're learning herbs, this was a herbalist, will come and work with you for a bit and help you out. Okay.
Oh,
So your guardian angel is this pure being. I believe that they have never had human lives. Some people do believe that, and I'm not going to say that anybody's right or wrong, but
mhm.
my own belief is that angels have not had human lives. And if someone loses a child, for example, that person likes to think that the child is now a guardian angel. And I think it's true that that child would be around their mother, acting like an angel, but they're actually more like a spirit guide, a loved
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
That
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because yeah, that's why I asked because there are many, I would say a few different ideas about who our guardian angels are, and I obviously, being able to talk to you, I wanted to ask just to hear your opinion about that. And it does make sense from what I've been studying as well. For me personally, it makes sense to me. And one of the things that also I love about your book is, and you actually recommend as well, is using it as an oracle deck. Well, not an oracle deck, but an oracle. And like flipping and see, okay, if you have a question or something, and just see which angel or message that appears to you. Obviously, if you have your oracle deck, you can use the oracle deck, and you have both, they can complement each other. But what do you hope? How do you hope people will use your book and Oracle deck? And what do you hope people will gain from working with each of them?
I hope that people will, one, be inspired because I feel like that my story, how I've gone from this agoraphobic child to creating my own idea of success, which is personal contentment, happiness, and a happy family. I feel like that's enough for me to feel fulfilled. And I hope that people will learn from the mystery teachings from the book that, the things that we are shown on social media, they are not the true meaning of life. And they can never bring happiness and contentment. It's nice to have money,
Mm.
because it means we can get nicer food, we can get organic stuff, we can go on days out, but that is not what makes your life, and it doesn't make your happiness. So it's really, I want it to inspire people to believe that we each have a destiny, that we do have some level of control over our life, and that we can be whoever we want to be. We all have a higher potential. We're always supported. There's always guidance, and that we all have challenges as well. And it doesn't mean that we've got bad karma or we're bad people or we're failing at life because we're experiencing something difficult. It's mainly about self-empowerment. That's what it's all about, self-empowerment through healing and rediscovering who you are and your potential.
Yeah, I did feel that. So, yeah. Um, so just a last question in terms of the angels. What we've talked about, one of the misconceptions about them having gender, the archangels in this case. What are other misconceptions that you feel that exists towards angels and archangels as well?
So the one that came to my mind straight away was religion.
Okay, yeah.
Angels are not bound to religion at all. Yes, they are mentioned in religious texts, But angels do not belong to any religion. Angels just belong to the universe, to the creator, to source energy, divine love. That's all they are. Religion is man-made and angels are not.
Yeah. I feel like that's something I've have that experience. Most people nowadays, especially when they get into the spiritual journey, they do tend to step away from religion and more into like being spiritual. Uh, I mean, obviously, there's nothing wrong about religion, but it's just being able to know what does resonate with you and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I absolutely agree with you. And so, for those interested in learning more or even working with you, where can they find you and what resources do you offer?
So I have a membership. It's called the Angel Mystery School. And it's a 12-month program. We meet online once a month. We do master classes, different topics each month. There's a whole library of videos and meditations that you can access whenever you want. You don't have to do them, but it's all there if you want it, PDFs, the whole lot. Um, I'm on Instagram, Clarestone UK. Oh, I have a newsletter, which if you're into angels and you love like full moon stuff and you're a bit magic-y person, sign up for my free newsletter. That's on my website, clarestone.co.uk, and I'm on Facebook as well.
Well, I'll be sure to link all of that in the description of this video for everyone to connect with you. I do love following you on Instagram. I want to recommend everyone to follow you because you do give wonderful advice and messages and guidance daily. So I highly recommend following you there as well. And actually, what is coming next that we can wait for? You've talked about your book and maybe and an oracle deck.
Yeah, so I have actually got two oracle decks coming out
Oh
and
wow.
a book, but we're not at the stage where I'm allowed to publicly announce what they
Okay,
are.
that's fine.
But I am working on the day I submitted the manuscript for the second deck. I started writing an angel book that I have always wanted to write, always, but it wasn't the right time. And I know it's the right time now that my other work needed to come first.
Okay.
But it's similar, typical me.
Yeah.
Everyone will be expecting it when it comes. Oh,
Oh.
yes, where is this? But I have pulled as a card, you know.
Oh, really? Oh, that's. I was actually going to show the cards. So that's great because they're so beautiful, actually. So yeah, that's great.
I've pulled the reclaiming, take back the fragments of your soul. And I think that's
Oh,
a perfect card pull. I just sliced the deck in half and there it was. And I think that is summing up my work. This is what it helps you to do. It is your time to reclaim every aspect of who you are. It's time to explore all the things that you love and create a life that you love and take back your power, take back all of the times that you give yourself away. As women, we're raised to put ourselves on the back burner and take care of everybody else. But you can't pour from an empty jug.
yeah.
So it's our time now.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I was actually going to ask for advice to people at home, but I feel like you did that, and that's definitely true, especially obviously for women. We've been in the dark a little bit for too long, I think. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's our time for sure. And even
Yeah.
when I think when we rise, everyone like I think that balance that we talked about happens naturally between men and women.
It definitely does because as well, like I've got two daughters, so I'm always conscious about the way that I look after myself. They're going to be watching that. If they see me
Mhm.
burning myself down to the ground, never putting my self-care needs, and that's what they think a woman is or what a mum is. They're always
Yeah.
watching. And when we go back into the hemispheres of the brain, again, just quickly,
Yeah.
if we, everybody has been stripped of the feminine magic. not just women.
Yeah.
So when we used to hear things like to little boys, don't cry like a girl.
Hmm.
So we are, by reclaiming these teachings and living them ourselves, it's like we're giving other people permission to be emotional or explore their creativity or their openness. Like we are literally the more we light up, we're literally lighting up the world.
Yeah. And you do feel that, don't you? Like, especially more and more, even in the obviously the things that are happening in the world. But then there's the other side where I feel like more people are becoming more conscious. Uh,
Yeah, because it's that time, isn't it, in life where it is so heavy out there. If you started looking at news and newspapers and all that now, you'd be filled with dread.
yeah,
So if we can keep our center and do our bit, try and be energy as a ripple effect. So if I'm working on myself and not getting wrapped up in whatever they're talking about in my town because they're building this and, you know,
the
um,
drama.
drama. And then, like, the children come home and they're tapping into that sea of positive energy. And then, like, husband comes home and it just creates this, like, safe haven. And then when they go to school, hopefully they'll be taking some of that positivity to school,
Hmm.
passing it to them kids and work to those colleagues. So you don't have to, like people used to always say to me, because I've been married for 23 years, oh, is he spiritual? Do you try and teach him things? I have never tried to teach my husband anything unless he's asked. It's always been by leading by example, and he's
Hmm.
noticing, oh, the law of attraction, thinking it's worked years ago. Oh, but it's actually working. So why don't I try it and see if it works for me? See if trying to think that my cup is half full instead of half empty, see if that works. So again, if you can just live your life in the most authentic way that brings you peace and happiness, it will definitely have an effect on someone else in your life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, well, that's wonderful because actually, one of the things that when we start having our spiritual awakening and all of that, we want our family, our friends to, oh, that's so good. Like, let me just tell you what I've learned and all that stuff. And I've heard so many times that we have to let them follow their own path and their own growth and just being your authentic self, like you said, and shining, then they will naturally get something from that as well. So yeah, so thank you so much for that. I won't
Okay.
take too much more of your time. So thank you so much for this conversation, Claire. It was such a pleasure, truly. And I hope that we might do this again maybe next year when you have your new book and Oracle decks.
Yeah, I'd love to. And can I just say, I absolutely love EFT. It is so
Oh,
powerful. It's
yeah.
something that I have practiced for years as well. And it really is. So if it's my followers who are watching this, then they need to come and follow you as well
Oh,
and learn
thank
about
you.
EFT because it is
Oh,
it's so underrated. It's so
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you so much for that. Truly. Thank you. Thank you.